Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachacha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Kabar from the GMS Virginia camp, coming at you with another short lesson that I pray that you find edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. The book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 6. Ye have sown in much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in the bag with holes. The reason why I bring this precept out is because I went to the supermarket the other day for a few items, and I haven't gone into a supermarket in quite a while, but nonetheless, I went to a local Food Lion in my area, to pick up a few items, and I was blown away at the prices of the items that I picked up, most of which cost no less than $3, but if you measured it with a ruler, a few of the items were no longer than 2.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide that weighed a few ounces. And to put that into perspective, I could put it into the palm of my hand and it still cost over $3, nearly $4 for this in particular item, of which I bought 3 of. Essentially, it's a small pack of goat cheese, garlic flavored goat cheese. I like to make my little snacks with it, and stuff like that. But nonetheless, those 3 items cost me $12 in change. And of course, I picked up a few other items, garlic, like minced garlic, bread, this, that, or the other. And I was blown away at the prices of these things where I could count on 2 hands the total items that I bought that came up to $92. And the water Yavashim Yahshua for allowing me to buy these things. But nonetheless, I got to thinking about how bad it's going to get, where Jake is already struggling, Jake is already working his ass off and bringing little, Jake is already at the point where, he may drink something, but he's still thirsty. He may have clothes on his back, but he's still cold. He might bring in a wage, but, it seems like the wages that he's bringing in just isn't enough. Well, it's not going to be enough because the situation is just going to get that bad. It's going to get so bad that Jake is just going to be through. But nonetheless, I bought these items and I'm on my way to stick them in my car. And as I'm leaving this in particular supermarket, I'm thinking to myself, it's going to get to the point where people are going to be standing outside the supermarket watching what you come out with. People are going to be in the supermarket watching what you put in your shopping cart. People are going to be watching you as you load your car with these goods and you're on your way home, and they'll catch you at your crib. People are actually watching you even at your crib, to see what you're buying. You got neighbors with these Ring doorbells and, these camera systems outside their house looking at the boxes that are dropping up off at your door. So the people are already watching what you do. They're already watching what you buy. They're already watching your habits. And we're in the time of the green tree. And we're not too far off where things are about to go to hell. Because it's already starting to come out that, the trucking industry is moving less and less product. It's already coming out where where, you know, the average person is struggling. It's already coming out where you know, people are just being robbed. And it's only gonna get worse. And Jake ain't even paying attention to these times. You know? And a lot of Jakes are just gonna get fucked up. You know? A lot of Jakes are just gonna get fucked up. Hang on one second, I'm gonna get this preset. Because, hey man, because it's about to get bad. Not as fools, but as wise. Salakia. It's a little quick lesson before I head into the plantation, because it's about to get terrible out here. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly. You know? See that you pay attention to your surroundings before you actually, you know, do certain things. Especially at the point now where you have to watch what you're doing as you're walking into a supermarket just to go buy food. Because there's a lot of people out there that's starving. There's a lot of people out there that's homeless, that's not well off. You know, and now they're starting to look at you as a prey. That's why the scriptures say, see that you walk circumspect. Pay attention to your surroundings. Because you got Jakes out there lurking, ready to pounce on your ass like a lion, and then the next thing you know, you get robbed at gunpoint while you're trying to put your food in your car with your family in the back seat. I mean, it's just gonna get terrible out here, bro. And a lot of people haven't come to the realization that we are in a depression. We're not in a recession, we're in a depression. And this depression is just gonna get more and more depressive because the food system is on its way out. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to smite this land with a plague of famine. Not of just hearing the word, but of food as well. He's going to smite Egypt with the same plagues as before. And one of those plagues was famine. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. But you Jakes forget the history of that. You know, hell, a lot of you Jakes don't even understand what happened in Egypt back then. So if you don't understand what happened in Egypt back then, you really would be lost during the time of Egypt now. And it's going to catch a lot of you people off guard to the point where you're just going to be moaning with anguish. The book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. A fool will walk into a supermarket during these times and go and buy a whole fucking boatload of food and walk out as if nothing's going to happen to him. A wise man, a wise person would buy in parts, buy in minimals. You don't have to go into a supermarket to spend $500 just to go buy your fucking groceries, especially when you know that you're being watched going in the store and watched coming out the store. Split that shit up, going to this store this day, going to that store that day. You know, spend a little bit here, spend a little bit there, enough, you know, to build up what you need to eat. But these people have lived a life such that, you know, I don't know, I guess they look at it as a badge of honor when you can walk in the store and spend $300-400 when everybody fucking else is starving and walk out as if everything is cool. Well, those days are nearly over. You walk into the store right now and you spend $500 in a neighborhood where a lot of the fucking people are starving and you know, destitute and homeless, and see how far you gonna get. We've all seen the videos where, you know, a motherfucker go to the bank and they'll go home and they think that they made it home scot-free. Next thing you know, a car roll up behind them and want to rob them in their driveway. And that's for money that don't mean shit. What's going to happen in a day when that's going to be food after you just left the supermarket? And a lot of these women are going to be bad off. Because a lot of these women don't have men. They don't have the protection. They don't have the order that they should have had. And a lot of these women are going to go into these supermarkets thinking that they're baddie and they're going to be able to walk the fuck out, whatever it is that they just fucking paid for, and they're going to get home scot-free. Okay, you might leave the supermarket scot-free. You might get into your car scot-free. You might even make it to your destination scot-free. But that's not to say that after you get to where you're going that you're going to be able to enjoy the amenities that you just purchased. Because it's going to get bad, man. You know, it's going to get to a point where not only are men going to follow women to take what they get, they're going to follow women to take what they get and then some. And you women are just fucking careless. You're careless. You walk around this fucking place as if nothing's going to happen to you. And something's going to happen to you. Unless you're that elect lady, something's going to happen to you. And it's going to get to the point where too many of y'all is going to get caught the fuck out there before y'all learn. That's just how simple you are. And to the men, a lot of these men are just going to use women as prey. For whatever the situation is. And these women are going to get desperate. A lot of these women are just going to look for a man, just be looking for, you know, some sort of protection, regardless to how they treat it, regardless to where they may go. And a lot of these men are going to take advantage of that. So that's why you have to be circumspect. You got to be paying attention to your surroundings so that you won't be caught unawares. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You should be redeeming these times. These times are evil. Nothing about these times are good. And nothing about these times will get any fucking better. Things will only get worse for you fucking people. I went to a supermarket, spent $92 on a handful of items that I could have got robbed for. So me knowing these things, I walk circumspectly. I do things at a certain time during the day when I know that there's a lot of people out or not a lot of people out. And I do things at a certain level, not to bring attention to myself. But you people, man, you just don't fucking learn. And like I said, it's only going to get worse because this devil's already cutting off your amenities. He's already starting to cut off WIC, food bank programs, you know, the transportation of food from one state to another. The farmers are already fucking dealing with it, and they've been dealing with it for years, you know, either with these laws or the weather, you know, these winter storms, these summer storms, these tornadoes, these earthquakes that's about to hit this fucking place at a greater level. And then on top of that, you still got to deal with the laws that, you know, this devil has made to stop these farmers from producing food. Here it is. It can rain and you can't even collect water to drink. It's against the law to do so. You can't even create a garden in your fucking backyard because this devil has made it so that you just can't do these things. And by you adhering to the system, a lot of you people don't even know how to do these things. Make a basic fucking garden. You know, a lot of people don't even know how to do the basic shit. You don't know how to hunt. You don't know how to fish. Unless you're from the South, you learn how to hunt and you fish, you know. And you know, I'm referring to you, Jakes. But for the most part, a lot of you city folk don't know how to do these things. A lot of you city folk, your food is brought to you to a supermarket and you eat hand to mouth. Supermarket, hand to mouth. You don't know how to grow shit. You don't know how to hunt for shit. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these things I don't know how to do either. But I'm learning how to do these things. Or have a basic understanding on how to do these things if in the event I come across a situation where I have to. The supermarkets are going to be a thing of the past. A lot of people ain't going to want to go to the supermarkets. A lot of people ain't going to want to go to the stores. Because these days are going to be evil. This economy is about to fucking collapse. So you ain't even going to have the monetary system to go into the store to buy you anything any fucking way. But as I was leaving the supermarket, man, I mean, I was like, yo, it's going to get to... And this is real talk. I'm thinking this as I'm leaving the supermarket, heading to my car to put the groceries in my car. I'm saying to myself, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be dangerous leaving the supermarket. Well, it's going to be dangerous going to the supermarket, but it's going to be even more dangerous leaving the supermarket. And so what's going to happen in that day when these women don't have that protection? What's going to happen in that day when, you know, you have to venture out and go get food? What's going to happen? It's going to get terrible. I wish I could show you that fucking receipt on how simple of the items that I bought and how expensive it was. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, damn, bro, why haven't you been going to the supermarket lately? Because a lot of times I eat out on the run. I eat on the go. You know, I don't eat processed food or anything like that. You know, I might go and get me a tropical smoothie and that'll tie me over. Or, you know, I might stop at a Mexican joint and eat a couple of tacos or burritos. But nonetheless, I don't eat processed food. But the one time that I did stop at a supermarket in a very long time to pick up some items, I'm thrown back. The struggle that these people are facing is real. And it's only going to get more and more real. And the only ones that's going to make it through it is the elect. You know, and unless you have the hedge of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua about you, man, a lot of you people, y'all just might as well wrap it the fuck up. And if you think that the wisdom of this world is going to get you through Jacob's trouble, then you sadly fucking mistaken. You have all the guns you want. You can know all the people you want. It ain't going to fucking matter because you don't have enough bullets. It ain't going to matter if the Lord isn't with you. Oh, I'm safe. I'll just hunker down in the crib. Okay, you hunker down in your crib. That's your tune. Unless you have Yahweh Hashem Yahushua with you. Oh, shit, you know, if anything goes bad, you know, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out there and get me a food. I'm going to go out there to get me some food, you know, to take care of my family. Okay, you'll never fucking make it back home. Because the scriptures say, many men shall die in the war, and the rest in the famine, or by the sword. So you might go out there during the famine, you know, to go search for food, but the sword will destroy you, and you'll never make it the fuck back home. Meanwhile, your family is stuck in that apartment that they can't get out of. Why? Because they're waiting for you and they're afraid to leave. Because you were their protection. You see, we of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will lean upon the Lord and not on men or not on our own vain conceits, you know, to think that we're going to be able to go out there in the street and act like fucking Superman and find whatever it is that we know. No. We're going to depend upon Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to feed us in that day, clothe us, give us the drink, keep us safe, defend us. These are things that we're practicing on how to do now in terms of getting our mind right. Because in a lot of cases, if you haven't been trying to deal on a spiritual level, you're going to deal more on a carnal level. And you're going to seem to think that your way is the way to get out of it. Not realizing that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, wait ye upon me. Not only until the prey, but for everything. Wait until I give it to you. And so it's going to get bad because a lot of people ain't going to wait on Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to give it to them. They're going to be standing outside these supermarkets waiting for you to give it to them. And if you don't give it to them, then that's your ass. You know, so I just wanted to bring this out, you know what I'm saying? Because this is just something that I was thinking about as I was leaving the supermarket the other day. That is really going to fuck a lot of people up. And excuse my choice of language. It's not cursing. It's just bad language. If you want to even call it that. But these are just an idea, or this is just an idea that was crossing my mind the other day as I was leaving the supermarket, where a lot of people is just going to get jacked up. And the crazy thing is nobody's going to come to their defense. Because once they start getting jacked up, that's when the rats come out. Next thing you know, you got one person standing at your car robbing you, taking your shit. Next thing you know, 3 other motherfuckers will jump in and start snatching other shit out of your car or out of your basket. You know, it's just going to be like a fucking rat race to get what they need and get what they want. And a lot of people are going to die behind it. Anyhow, you know, I just wanted to bring that out right quick, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just a thought I had in my head, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachachach, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.